the content and the learning objectives. So take note, ang content sa CM number 5 will be ratios, rates, and proportions. These are the objectives. These are the learning targets or the learning objectives. Differentiate ratios, rates, and proportions. Write ratios and rates of two quantities in simplest form. And solve problems involving ratios, rates, and proportion. Now, let's begin with this one. What is a ratio? Can I have a volunteer, please, to read the definition of a ratio? Anyone, please, from your section? Either from section Oak or from section Fervent? You can unmute yourself and you can read the definition, please. Yes, Christian. By the way, class, do you hear me, by the way? Carla, go on, Carla. Okay. Okay, so take note. Yeah, continue, Carla. Okay, thank you so much, Carla. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. So take note, a ratio is simply a comparison of two quantities. That's a very important key there. Two quantities or two numbers by division. And these are examples of ratio. You can write a ratio using a colon, just like this. You can write a ratio using the word 2. You can write the ratio using a fraction bar. So I can have 10 is to 3, 10 to 3, or 10 over 3. So these are three ways on how to write a ratio. Okay, now let's continue. Now, let's have this problem over here. If I'm going to be asking you with the first figure, what is the ratio of the shaded area to the unshaded area in this picture? So, ang buhato nato is let's count how many shaded boxes do we have here? Okay, there are 6 for a while. Section Oak, Section Fervent. Do you hear me, by the way? Ganiha, naputol ko. Oh, pasensya na ganiha. Okay, let's continue. Let's go back to our figure. Sa first figure nato, pila ka book ang shaded region? 6. So I'll be writing 6 here and colon. How many unshaded region or boxes are there in our first figure? 10. 6 is to 10, or I can write this as 6 over 10. But it is stated here in a simplest form. So writing this in simplest form, how do you reduce 6 over 10? Divide og 2 both sides, right? Both numerator and denominator divided by 2. You will be getting 3 over 5 for that. Same thing with this. So this is now 3 is to 5. Okay? So I can have 3 is to 5, or I can have 3 over 5. Is our first example clear? Okay, let's go to our second example. How many shaded regions are there in the second figure? There are 8. 8 is to how many? 8 also. There are 8 shaded and 8 unshaded. In fraction form, that's 8 over 8, which will give us how much? 1. So meaning, the ratio is 1 is to 1, or simply 1, or 1 over 1. Okay? So that is how you rate, or how you write ratios, and how you simplify them. Let's go to rate now. So the definition of rate, can I have a volunteer, please? Yes, go on. Thank you. Yes, go on. Go on. Okay, thank you so much. Take note, a rate has different units, meaning ang numerator, laki ang unit, ang denominator, laki ang unit. Okay? So let's have examples. An example here is 110 miles in 2 hours can be written as 110 miles over 2 hours. If you'll be writing 110, that's miles over 2 hours. Diba you will be simplifying 110 and 2. So when you divide 110 and 2, you will be getting 55. And that will give us 55 miles per hour. Okay? So this is an example of a rate. Take note, it has units like miles per hour. Another example. One bus for every 40 students can be written as, that's one bus over 40 students, or simply one bus is to 40 students. So, do you get the definition of a rate now? So, take note, ang ratio nato ganiha, do we have units here? We don't have. It's purely number over a number. But in terms of rate, there is now a unit. Okay? Mo na difference nato nila. Now, let's continue. What is a proportion? Oh, can I have a volunteer, please, to read the definition of a proportion? Who was raising his hand? Kisa to ni-raise iyang hand. Ah, yes, go on, Riza. Thank you so much, Riza. Yes, you're using a colon. A is to B is equal to C is to... go on, sige. Okay, continue with in a proportion, Riza. Okay, thank you so much. Kana lang siya kutob. So take note of this, take note of this. So if we have a ratio and another ratio being compared, atong gi-equate silang duha, ang duha ka ratios atong gi-equate, that is now what you call a proportion. Diba this is a ratio? A is to B is a ratio. C is to D is a ratio. And take note, gigamitan akong duha ka colons, meaning this is an example of a proportion. And take note of the parts of a proportion. The outer numbers are what you call the extremes. The inner numbers are what you call the means. Sir, can I write kanang duha ka book colon into equal? Yes, you can. So, kini siya, the same rin na siya as this. Okay? So, let's continue. Ang outer gitawag og extremes, ang inner gitawag og means. And take note of this concept. Ang product sa extremes dapat equal na siya sa product sa means. Para imong proportion is true. And this concept is used in task number 1 ninyo sa letter A. So I will give an example on that later on. So let's go to this example over here. So if I will be checking, so I have here 300 pesos is to 5 hours. That's why 300 over 5 hours. As 600 pesos is to 10 hours. That's why I have written 600 pesos over 10 hours. So if I'll be writing this manner, diba this is 300 is to 5 is equal to 600 is to 10. Now, if I will be checking whether this is a proportion, it's so simple. I-multiply nimo ang means o pila man ng 5 times 600. Pila ng 5 times 600? Pila? 3,000. So this is 3,000. What about 300 times 10? 3,000. So dapat equal na siya para mahimong true imong proportion. Let's go to the second example. 20 is to 25. That's equal to 4 is to 5. Let's multiply the means. How much is 25 times 4? 100. What about 20 times 5? 100 also. Now, using the fraction, it's so simple. How do I check, sir, whether kini siya is correct? You simply cross-multiply. So, kining 10, i-times na ko ni 300, I'll be getting 3,000. Kining 5, i-times na ko ni 600, it's still 3,000. The same thing as, ang 5, gi-times na ko ni 20, ang 25, gi-times na ko ni 4. Ga-cross-multiply ko to check Is this clear, by the way? Everyone, is this clear, by the way? Nadunggan ko ninyo, class? Nasad ko madunggan? What's happening with my audio? Okay, there you go. Am I heard now? Madunggan ako karon? There's something wrong with my audio. Class, am I heard right now? Class? Where's the setting here? Do you hear me now, by the way? Hello? Ato sa i-mute. What's happening with my audio? Sure. Do you hear me right now, by the way? Sure. Do you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so
Yes,
much. Kana, there is something wrong with... Let's continue. Okay, there you go. Okay na, mauni siya'y buhato ninyo sa inyohang task number 1, letter A. You simply write true or not true for I'm gonna be showing you your task number 1. It's over here. So CM number 1. Let's go to task 1. There you go. Let's enlarge this. So mauni siya'y buhato ninyo. Okay? So, sir, pwede ni nako himuong ratio like katong inganion ako, sir, i-colon, pwede ra kaayo, or pwede ra sad, inyong buhaton is so simple, kining 3/4, ang 12, i-times ninyo ni 3, niya ang 4, i-times ninyo ni 9, i-cross multiply. Okay, there are a lot of ways on how to do this. Pwede ra kaayo, go with the way or the method niya nga you're comfortable with. Yang answer niyo diri is true or not true. Is this clear, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's...
Yes,
Yes. Klaro ni ha? Klaro ni. Okay, let's go. Let's proceed here. So let's have an example. Express 3:5 and 9:15 in two ways. So as two equal fractions, that's very simple. So we have 3/5 is equal to 9/15. Using a colon, that will give us 3:5, duha ka colon, 9:15. Okay? The same thing as this. If I'm gonna be asking you, are the two proportions or two ratios in proportion? Yes or no?
no, sir.
No. Why no? Because if you will
They are not,
yes, go on.
if you will cross multiply that the four numbers already are not proportion.
Okay, if I'm gonna multiply the means, that's 70. If I'm gonna multiply the extremes, that's 80. Dili siya equal. This is a no-no. Okay, what about the second one? Cross-multiply nato. Cross-multiply nato. Is this a proportion or not a proportion?
Proportion, sir.
Why is this a proportion? Sige, you tell me why.
If you will multiply the mean, sir, and the extreme, they are
How
equal.
much? How much?
120, sir.
Okay, that's equal to 120. Cross multiply. Cross multiply. That's 120 equals 120. That is a yes. Okay? Now, let's just skip that. Let's go to over here. Write the rates of two quantities in simplest form. So, you're given here 18 blocks in 20 minutes. So 18 blocks in 20 minutes, dividing both numbers by 2, you will be getting 9 blocks over 10 minutes. The same thing as this. 344 miles on 10 or 16 gallons, of gasoline. So if I'm going to be dividing 344 miles by 16, I'll be getting 21.5 miles per gallon. Okay, so these are examples of how to simplify rates. Now let's continue. So let's just skip that. Okay, let's have this one. To write the rates of two quantities in simplest form. We have 10 feet in 4 seconds. What is 10 feet divided by 4 seconds? O, pwede rin decimal. What is 10 divided by 4? That's 2.5. 2.5 feet per second. Okay? What about number 2? Sir, pwede rasad ni siya, sir, like 5 over 2. That's 5 feet over 2 seconds. Pwede rasad kaayo ni siya. Both are accepted. Okay? Let's go to number 2. What about 816 miles in 6 days?
136 miles per day.
Okay, 136 miles per day. Okay? So that is how you simplify rates. Now let's proceed with this one. What if you're given a proportion wherein one number is missing? Just like in case ing ani ang gigiven nato nya human na ay missing either numerator or denominator, bisag asa ana pwede na siyang ma-solve. So how do we do this? It's so simple. Cross multiply. So kini siya i-times na ko ni 9. So 9 times n. That's equal to kining 6 i-cross multiply na ko, that is 3 times 6. So we have 9n is equal to 18. What are you going to do with this now?
Divide, sir.
Okay, divide by how much?
9.
Divide by 9. So, kung pili partner ni 9, maunay divisor nato para makancel sa 9. And what is 18 divided by 9?
2.
2. There you go. Mauni siya answer sa atuang n. Okay? Let's have more examples. This one. So, just like what we did a while ago, you cross multiply. So, we have 9n cross multiply is equal to 14. Okay? Then, divide both sides by 9 again. Makancel na saya. So, we have 14 over 9. Pwede sa din siyang decimal. Pila may decimal form aning 14 over 9?
1.5
1
or 1.56.
1.6.
1.6. Okay. 1.6. Let's have another example. This one. You have there 3 cups of water over 3 cups of rice is equal to 2 n cups of water over 12 cups of rice. Now, this is very, very important. kung sa inyong proportion, sa babaw nag-water mo dapat sa pikas, water po da siya. Kung sa denominator ninyo nag-rice mo din ha, dapat ang ubos po nag-rice po na siya. Di na pwedeng magbali si water o si rice. Mo ni pinaka-importante nga akong timalan basta maghimo kog proportion. Okay? Now, let us now cross-multiply. I-cross-multiply ni nako, mahimo ni siyang 3n is equal to, i-cross-multiply na nako, mahimo na siyang 12 times 4 is how much?
48.
Okay, 48. Divide both sides by 3 to cancel 3. So, what is 48 divided by 3? 16. So, 16 cups of water. Okay? Kay mo man ato ang unknown. Cups of water man. Is example number 3 clear? Klaro ang example number 3?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Okay, let's proceed to example number 4. If a man was able to travel 250 kilometers in 5 hours, let's write that as a rate. 250 kilometers in 5 hours. That's equal to, how many kilometers would he cover in 9 hours? So, asa ni nako ibutang si 9 hours? Sa babaw or sa ubos? Sa ubos. Because in our given, hours is written below. So, dapat 9 hours is below. Unsa ibutang nako sa babaw?
N.
km.
N kilometers. So, pwede rin sa x kilometers, pwede rin you can use any variable. Okay? Now, let's cross-multiply. So, we have now 5n is equal to, pila maning 250 times 9?
2,250.
2,250. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Divide by 5.
Sir.
Yes.
450.
450 kilometers. Good. Thank you so much. Mo ni answer nato sa example number 4. 450 kilometers. Okay? Let's proceed. Here, let's have this problem. Atong i-cross-multiply, mahimo ng 3n. What is 21 times 5? 105. Divided by 3. So, how much is that?
35.
35. So, n is 35. The same thing as this. I-cross-multiply 2n. I-cross-multiply 42 divided by 2. Pila si n? 21. Same thing as this. Kini siya. Ma-solve po din nato. Pero, sir, unsa man ni siya pag-solve, sir? Atong i-multiply. Kini. I-multiply ni nato. Pila man ni? 5a equals. Multiply that.
3c.
3c. The same thing as this. Multiply these two.
4A.
4a. Multiply these two.
4B.
4b. Okay. So, take note.
I think
Yes,
5,
yeah.
5a na.
5a niya siya.
5A.
Thank you so much. That's 5a. So, divided by, i-divide din akong 5, i-divide sa nanay kong 5 para makancel. Ang a nako diri is 3c over 5. On this side, yes, 5a.
5A, sir, that's 4B.
5
5A.
5A ni siya. Thank you for that. Nalibog na si sir. Okay. Kaya sakto na siya. So, divide din na to og 5 as well. So, we now have A is equal to 4B over 5. So take note, A is equal to this, A is equal to this. Therefore, kining akong gi-encirculan equal di ay na. 3C over 5 is equal to 4B over 5. Kay both are equal to A. So, I can now cancel out 5. Pwede makancel nga naman. Nag-times kog 5, nag-times kog 5. Para makancel ang 5. We are left with 3C and 4B. So, I'm gonna be having like B is to C. Sir, so may buhaton ako na, sir. Okay. So, 3C is equal to 4B. So, ako i-equate og C, para na ako'y B is to C because I'm looking for B is to C. And then, I'm gonna divide this by 4, para makancel na siya, meaning, ang B over C is equal to 3 over 4, which is B is to C is equal to 3 is to 4. Mao ni siyang answer na ako. 3 is to 4. Is this clear, by the way? Anyway, this is just an example. This is not found in your task. Okay? Okay. Now, let's just discard that. Let's go to the different task atong i-discuss. So, kining letter A, kabalo na mo unsay buhaton aniha, inyong i-multiply ang extremes, i-multiply ang means, or i-cross multiply para makuha ninyo kung true or false ba saya. Is letter A clear?
Yes, sir.
So, ang answer ninyo ani, true or not true. So, later tonight, may tag-okay na akong internet, dili ni siya mawala, I'll be making the Google Forms for this para magpili-pili na mo true or not true ba na saya. Let's go to letter B. O, mo ni siyang gisbuhat na to ganiha katong nag-solve ta ni N. So, kabalo na mo sa buhato ni letter B, ha? Any questions?
So, your solution, sir?
Ang letter A, pwede naman ni siya mamata-mata kay magmultiply ko, ay not true. Kining letter B, I need the solution lang. Okay? For letter B. Ang letter A, pwede raw ay solution. Ang letter B, I need the solution. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, let's go to critical thinking. Ang critical thinking, pwede ra dili muagi ani nga process. Pwede ra jud mag-answer ra mug diretsyo ani niya. Example, I will be changing this one for a while. For a while, let me go here. I need to go this I need to open this TCC first sem. This is math 1. Course material open with Edge. But I can write something here. For a while, class, for a while. Okay, there you go. Atong A in large. Then add notes. Let me change. It's red already. Okay, let's go to asan na tato sa critical thinking part. Okay, here you go. So, example. Kining number 1. Unsay buhaton ninyo aning number 1, be? Kung mag-una mo ni 2.5 over 4, dapat mag-una mo ni W over 4.8. So, dapat babaw over ani, horizontal over vertical, horizontal over vertical. If mag-una pod mo ni horizontal, horizontal over vertical, horizontal over vertical pod na si Pikas. Is number 1 clear?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to number 2. So you have here 2 cups orange, 4 cups fruit punch. Take note, nag-una ko ni orange, nisunod si fruit punch. So ang ako ang pikas, mag-unapod ko sa orange, musunod si unknown nga fruit punch. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number 3, the same thing. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Maula dyan na atong timanan sa atong proportion. Unsay mag-una sa usa kung many siya nya days, men nya human is 2 days. Ang pikas, men is 2 days pud na siya. Okay? Di man na pwede nga magbali na din ha. Maura dyan na ato ang always timanan basta proportion. The same thing with all of these. Kining problem number 1, the same na siya. Pero gipangayuan sa muog, what is the ratio of the farmer's share to the helper's share? Okay? And then, after that, if ang helper kay naay 15 sacks, pila man kabuok sacks of rice ang sa farmer? Maon na ay duha ka questions si number 1. Si number 2, ang first question, total income. So, unsay buhaton nako ani class? I-add din nako, darang o total income. Dara. So, we have here, food. Pila may nagasto niya sa food? Tanawa ang table. Pila nagasto sa food?
14,200.
Okay, so 14,200 is to what?
56,000.
Okay, so inganaon pag-answer si A, si B, si C, ug si D. Okay? Now let's go to number 3. A survey of 1,000 registered voters, the same na sad ni siya concept, basta proportion. Are there any questions about the 3 tasks in CM number 5? Class, naay mga pangutana about this?
None so far, sir.
Don't worry kay kung mag-summative test gani sa finals, ang coverage ra jud ninyo is CM5. Ay lang mugsulti sa uban. Maghimo kog ako ang questionnaire nga ang sulod CM5 ra jud siya. Is that okay with all of you?
Sir.
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
Thank you very much,
kung
sir.
naatay finals nga summative ha, ang ako ang coverage ra jud ang CM5. And I will be making my own finals nga questionnaire for that. So, laki ang ako ang questionnaires sa other Math 1 classes. Okay? So, para lang dili kaayong magdaghan ng inyong hunahunaon, focus lang ta sa CM number 5. Are there...
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, go on.
Sir, kanang tanang answer tanang answer, sir, is kanang i-reduce yun na mo sa lowest term.
Yes, i-reduce jud sa lowest term, especially kining sa number kini siya. Thank you for that concern. Kini siya, kini. Sorry for that. Ang answers ninyo dire dapat reduced form. Simplest
Ang 5, sir.
kay naaman dire. Yes, go on.
Kanara, sir, akong giko answer gimin nga ako
Yes, tanan i-reduce siya kung gipangayuan mo ratio dapat reduced form siya. Kay naaman sa instruction in simplest form. Some more questions by the way.
Kuan, sir, kanang dili man na mahimo nga mabalik ang number, sir, no?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, for example, nga, katong solving about ang katong gipangita ang B is to C ba?
Oo.
Then, diba, C
Yes, katong
tas 4B.
katong
So,
inyuhang
bawal siya reciprocal, sir.
sa example B is to C. Yang answer ninyo is 4 is to 3 nga na. Yang answer di ay kay 3 is to 4.
Yes, sir.
Dili siya pwedeng mabali. Dapat 3 is to 4 jud ni. Sayop ni siyang 4 is to 3. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Some more questions by the way. Anyway, katong ato ang gi-solve ganiha nga B is to C, katong pinakalas wala man to siya diri. That was just an FYI para naamoy additional knowledge lang about ratio and proportion. Some more questions? Yes.
Pwede may mga ayo sa answer sa imong i-discuss.
Recording na.
Examples ba?
Yes, ang recording nato karon is kining PowerPoint.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Ako ning is-save pero wala biya ni mga solution ang PowerPoint nako. Kabantay mo, wala empty na kay nag-solve man ta na ganiha. Anyway, this is recorded. I will be sending you the recorded link after this.
Sir, dili na possible mabalik ang given, sir.
Ang given, example sir ba, ang given ako sir kay asa man nga given ani?
Itong water over rice, sir. Rice over
Kini. Sige. Kung mag-water over rice ka diri, pikas water over rice. Sir, kung balihon ako sir, example sir, let's use. Kung balihon ninyo sa class, pwede ra kaayo basta ang pikas pod inyo sang balihon. Like example, 3 cups of rice over 4 cups of water. Sa pikas pod, ang babaw dapat 12 cups of rice ang nas babaw. Dili na siya mausab. Ato isolve ha. Then we have n cups of water. Diba cross multiply? 3n. Cross multiply. This is 48. Di ba parehas na siya? 3n then 48. So wala ray mausab-an na basta rice over water, rice over water. Here, water over rice, water over rice. Pwede ra siya magkabali-bali basta ang pikas po the same po saya. Is that